All right, everybody, we're going to start in about 2 minutes. So we are going to get this started here. Let me put the presentation up. All right. Screen sharing is good. Everything's recording. All right, so we're going to go and get started here. Welcome, everybody. Happy spring. Happy March 20th. I'm pretty excited here today. One, that we have about 23 people here to kick off this initiative that we've been working collaboratively with MAP on. This is something that's been in the works and in the process of development over the past couple years and over several iterations. And here we are today, March 30th, 2024, where it actually has all come to fruition, and we're going to start moving forward. So again, thank you everybody for taking time out of your Wednesday evening post 5 to participate in this activity, this event, and we're just going to get straight into it. So for everyone that does not know, my name is Donovan Smith, and I'm here with other members of our leadership team, and we're going to walk you through what the Michigan Black Planning Professionals Network Group is, what we do and what we plan on doing, some of our goals and objectives, and how we plan on moving forward with everyone here. So just some of the leadership team members that you'll see here on the call include myself as the chair. We have a vice chair seat that is vacant. Justin Curry is filling in our secretary role. We have an APA liaison, that is Adrienne Zingler. She's here on the call as well, with our MAP liaison, Shari Williams. And then we also have two more vacant seats. We have a student liaison, and then we also have an emerging planning liaison. So we do have 3 vacant seats that we are looking to fill in the immediate future. So there is an opportunity that if you hear something that's interesting, you can just indicate to us towards the end of this meeting, and we're going to start to looking to fill some of these seats. I do want to give a few other honorable mentions. There were some other individuals that helped put the time and effort in to get this group going. So I want to shout out to Trey Scott, Marja Farrow. Let's see who else. Let's see who else on the call. I think those are the 2. Am I forgetting somebody, Shari? Make sure I get everybody.
I'm not sure if Alexis Wilkerson is on the call or not, but she's been in our conversation.
Yes, and Alexis, yes. So again, just thank you for those individuals that kind of hung out with us through our late calls, lunch calls as we work through that. So the agenda for today is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to have, we did our introductions. We're going to go over the details of what the Michigan Black Professional Planners Network is, kind of go over some of our mission statements and objectives. We're going to look at what activities we have planned and programmed for 2024. We're going to look at the role that this network has in the greater MAP conference and MAP activities. We have some potential socials and looking to get those scheduled, so we'll touch on those. We will mention and go over the committees and those officer positions that we do have vacant. And then we'll close out the agenda this evening with some open discussion, some ideas, giving everyone a chance to weigh in, just if they have any questions or input they want to provide. And then we will look to reconvene at a following time. So that's our agenda. And we will start off with Shari is going to just do some brief background with MAP, and we'll go from there. Shari?
Yep, I think Marja's going to take this one.
Okay. Marja? You're on mute. Oh, wait. We got to take, hold on, let's try this. Does it work now?
Okay, I think it's working now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Donovan, for the intro, and also thank you for agreeing to chair. Good evening, everyone. We just wanted to provide a little bit of context about how we got here, and also wanted to make sure that everyone is aware that the Michigan Black Professional Planners Network is indeed a Michigan Association of Planning initiative, and MAP has been investing capacity in Detroit since 2010. Initially through its breakfast, beverages, bright ideas, meetups, and events. Some of you might have been around and remember some of those. And then the BBB sort of evolved into the Metro Detroit Planner section, which is led by Trey Scott, and Donovan already gave him a shout out, but hey, Trey. And basically what that did is put a name and a brand to the work that MAP had been doing in Detroit for over a decade. And the MBP section continues to meet. We meet quarterly or monthly on Wednesdays at 9 in the morning. So the group is still going on. And some of the early objectives of that group included establishing a MAP section with the focus on projects and planners in Detroit, to continue regular neighborhood and building tours, panel discussions, planners nights out, summer and holiday gatherings, and MAP reads book clubs, and that's all under the MBP. Also wanted to especially engage and connect with Black planners working in the Metro Detroit area, advancing MBP DEI policies, and providing meaningful opportunities to meet and network. MBP also conceived and created the Black Student Conference Scholarship. This was started and launched and piloted initially in 2022. and we raised enough money to send 5 Black planning students and all expenses paid to the Michigan Planning Conference on Mackinac Island. We then institutionalized the program last year in 2023, and we raised enough money to send actually 8 students to the Planning Michigan Conference at Grand Traverse Resort, all expenses paid. And I do see a couple of our scholarship recipients on the call, so shout out to all of you. And so basically what we did was build out on the 2023 on-site conference scholarship program to provide more wraparound support to the students actually at the conference, including a mentor, program meetups, and a luncheon, which we hope to continue this year. And we'll talk more about that at a specific committee. So if you want to join that work, we look forward to having you on that committee regarding the Black student scholarship. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Marja. And I believe, Shari, you're on our next slide here.
Sure. Thank you, Donovan. Thank you, Marja. So I just want to talk a little bit about MAP membership. As we mentioned, this initiative is a MAP initiative led by MAP members. The entire executive team are MAP or APA members. Past Black Planner initiatives, and there have been a few, have been challenging to maintain due to the voluntary nature of the structure. MAP's commitment to providing administrative support to this initiative, it will enable us to establish continuity and also not lose the momentum. MAP is a professional association, and our members are professional planners. Most of tonight's participants are either current MAP or APA members or previous members. Most of you are trained, experienced, and educated as planners though you may not work in traditional planning jobs. We are currently going to encourage all of you to join MAP if you're not already a member, as our investments in the professional association will provide MAP with both the revenue as well as the commitment from us to support them. You can be a member in 2 ways. You could either do our chapter only membership, which is $65 annually, most relevant for non-traditional planners or those of us that are working in planning adjacent fields. Then there's also the APA membership. Now that one's several $100s. They have a sliding scale for that membership. It oftentimes depends on your salary. And through that membership, your Michigan chapter membership will be included. And that's for a lot of us that are working as planners or closely associated with some of the traditional planning jobs. An objective of the MBPP is to elevate planners at the national APA level. And through the APA planners in the Black community division, which is only $25 through APA, we can continue to discuss membership, and MAP staff will send out a link to join after this meeting. So please consider, if you're not already a MAP member, to join the membership.
Thank you, Shari. All right. So, one thing I'd want to underscore that Shari mentioned is that, you know, this is a MAP-led initiative, but we do have aspirations of participating in the national organization, APA as a whole. So we do have several objectives we'll go over, but I do want to underscore what Shari said, which is we are seeking to elevate where we are from, you know, the Michigan standpoint to a national standpoint. So this is by raising memberships at both levels and effectively taking over the space, right? Is, you know, actually creating the space, aligning with MAP, aligning with APA, and then populating that space with people that look like us. And that serves as what was the focal point on how we came to the mission statement that we have here today. So that is, we believe that inclusive and equitable planning initiatives are crucial at both the local, state, and national levels. We advocate for best planning practices, particularly among Black planning professionals and Black communities. Our aim is to empower the representation of Black planners within the planning profession and encourage the inclusion of planning adjacent and design career paths. And then I also want to follow up with the last section or the last half of that that mission statement is we are not limiting or restricting membership or participation to those who are formal planners. We use the term planning adjacent career fields, and we want to encourage others that are not directly, municipal or park or whatever type of planners you may be. But we also want to encourage others to participate and join in this network as we move forward. So when we get to the point where we kind of ask about next steps, we want to continue to grow this body and grow this population, but we also want to do that by inviting other planners that are not notified, but also those who are in planning adjacent career fields. So we have, I believe it's 6 objectives that we've worked through our leadership team. And we are open to feedback as we get to the open discussion portion of what other objectives could be, or amendments to these. But as of now, our objectives are increasing member representation among APA planning in the Black Communities Division and at national planning conferences, increasing member participation in leadership opportunities within MAP and APA governance, such as the APA board, support planning and design adjacent professional career paths and their relationships with best practice planning, to augment the membership of Michigan Black planners within Michigan Association of Planning and among the Michigan Black Planners Division or network. We seek to advocate for best planning practices and resources among Black planners within Black communities. And then lastly, to promote mentorship and career advancement for Black planners in the public, private, and nonprofit sectors. So you'll see this come up a few times: join MAP, join MBPP. So as we are elevating our status here, we want to encourage your first step is to make sure you are a member of MAP and get those dues going. I want to say everyone here, maybe with the exception of a handful, are MAP members. As Shari mentioned, all of the leadership members, all of the leadership team are MAP and APA members. So the first step is to get registered with MAP and encourage others to do so. And through that, we'll get to some of the MAP activities, but we want to encourage participation in the luncheon that we will be hosting at the MAP conference in our annual session. This is a virtual meeting of the greater body, but we do anticipate and we are planning to have annual sessions at the MAP conference. By joining, you are kept up to date with special events, social outings and activities that we will be coordinating with this group. Leadership opportunities. So that's the chance to sit on this leadership board. It also serves as a pathway to sit on the the MAP board, as well as an entry pathway for those who are newly graduated, working with the early emerging professionals, and it gives kind of a track of transition for more leadership opportunities. This is a chance to network with other Michigan Black planning professionals. We seek to also share job opportunities and resources. And again, this is a segue into participation in the greater APA, national APA community. We do have several committees, and I will let Justin touch on our committees and committee structures.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. For those of you who didn't happen to see Kimberly's message just now, thank you, Shari, for posting the link. But the conference will be held, the Planning Michigan Conference will be held from September 25th through 27th. We do want to reiterate here, if you are a student, please apply. The applications will be sent out in the upcoming weeks. And you really want to take advantage of that opportunity because, like Marja said earlier, it is an all expense paid trip. But thank you, Donovan. And to highlight some of the committees here, we're going to start off with the 2024 Conference Committee, which Marja happens to be facilitating. And if you do happen to have any additional questions, comments, feedback that you might want to chime in with Marja on, feel free to reach out to her as a resource. She is looking to accept any and all participants who are willing and able to assist with any ideas that you may happen to have. I'm sure she's going to give you a little bit more information as we continue to progress within our meetings. For the Social and Events Committee, that is kind of self-explanatory. We are just trying to, like Donovan said, establish ourselves within the state of Michigan here. And by doing so, we are trying to provide additional activities and events here that will be able to help one another network and even, building rapport moving forward. The 2024 Conference Committee is something that I'm actually going to be overseeing. I'm very excited about this opportunity because it's going to be in Grand Rapids this year. And if anyone has never been, there's a bit of a predominantly Black presence there too as well. There's a lot of Black-owned businesses that I feel like in past events at our MAP conferences, we haven't always been able to highlight. So I'm really looking forward to potentially going to an excursion like the Grand Rapids African American Museum and Archives, doing a mixer of sorts at the GR Nor Wine and Jazz. So there's a lot of different ideas and activities that I have in mind, but also I'm excited to provide a list of different spaces for us and by us that we are able to patron. So if you guys happen to have any ideas too, I'm more than accessible and open. And the last is the Education and Program Committee, which goes back to a lot of resources here that we as a committee are looking to establish short-term and long-term by providing additional resources. The scholarship fund being primarily one of them. So Adrian Zegler is going to be overseeing that committee. And if you have any additional questions or would like more information about that, please feel free to reach out to her as a source. She will be more than happy to follow up with any questions that you may happen to have.
Thank you, Justin. Then I'll further add, this is not the complete exhaustive list of all the possible committees. These are the ones that we identified to, get us going and get the ball moving. So if there are any other opportunities or things that, you believe may be of interest and benefit to us all, then when we get to that portion of the agenda, you can throw out. I see your hand, Lataro.
Never mind, you saying it. Sorry, I'll wait.
Okay. Okay. Yep. So we'll come. There's an open floor discussion at the end of the meeting. So if there are any other committees or ideas, feel free to throw those out. All right. So some of the activities we do have planned for 2024. The big overarching is the 2024 MAP conference in Grand Rapids. We are looking at establishing an annual presence at all of the MAP conferences. That goes for the national conference as well when that gets here in 26. And we'll most likely have a committee to start to prepare for that. But at these conferences, we do want to make sure we are participating with a session, so that's a committee that Marja will be assisting with, is putting together that session, defining that, and making sure it's submitted in time to be included into the program. The excursion or the social activity mentioned by Justin. And then we're also looking at hosting a luncheon, which I believe was provided at the last two conferences. The last one I know for sure, I don't know if it was two, but this is a luncheon that we're going to continue to host annually, as well as an actual annual in-person meeting. So most of the meetings of this body, 27 people or so, will be virtual throughout the year, but the one time we all kind of gather and get together at the conference, we're going to have a meeting very similar to this, right? Where we're going to have a meeting very similar to this, where we'll go over the activities that we've accomplished during the year. We'll start to talk about the things for 2025, getting any committees ready, getting any conversations and discussions started. And then, sharing successes for the years throughout the year and things like that. So these are all going to be annual activities that MAP has already agreed to supporting and has agreed to be a part of the framework of the MAP conferences as we go forward. So that's really exciting and arguably, I think, one of the best features of pulling this group together. So this is the meeting schedule of this body. So today is March 20th. This is our first virtual meeting. All of these meetings are virtual with the exception of, I believe, that October date when we get to the actual conference. So these are mostly concrete dates. If something changes in between, you'll get an email. But you can kind of hold these dates if you want to save these to your calendar. It'll kind of keep you in the loop. And if anything changes, we'll make sure we get everybody updated. So we're getting to the end here. So some people may be asking, what do we do next? First things first, join MAP, join Michigan Black Planning Professionals. Make sure you get your MAP membership. Share the invitation that you get and make sure others are registered through MAP. Whether you're a student, recently graduated professional, make sure you get that MAP membership so that you can participate in this group and be included in all those communications. Join a committee or the leadership team. So we do have 2 committee seats that are vacant, and we do have 3 leadership seats that are vacant. So if anyone is interested in those, that is a very good immediate next step to start to participate in that. We do have a social night with the MBPP. That is going to be coming up soon. You should have already received an invitation for that if you are a MAP member. If not, following this meeting, there's going to be additional communication. If you are able to, we also encourage you to join MAP. From the MAP perspective, from the APA perspective, there is a Black Planners and Communities division. That division only has, let me take a step back. That division is a nationwide division from the national APA, and there are members in each state, right? In Michigan, the number of Michigan MAP members that are a part of APA and a part of that Planners and Black Community Division, I believe we're at 4 or 5. So that's one of our metrics that we really are aiming to increase. So if you are or do have the capacity to join APA, we encourage you to do so. And if you are a member of APA currently and have not signed up to be a member of the Black division, Planners Division, I believe it's $10. I've heard it be $25. But we also just encourage you to join that because, again, we are elevating this group and populating that space, right? So we all have to increase the membership of this space and increase the membership of that space. And then lastly, just keep an eye on your emails following this meeting. We'll be sending out this transcript. We'll be sending out this presentation and the recording. And then we'll send out some registrations and some other information just to keep you caught up to date with what's going on. So that concludes the main portion of our agenda. This is the kind of open floor discussion, questions. If anyone wants to throw their name in the hat for any of the leadership seats or committees, this is the kind of chance to do that. So I will take a break here. and allow people to either raise your hand, and then we'll kind of do it that way. That might be the cleanest way to do this. But this is the open floor. So Kimberly, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. And let me turn this screen off here.
Thank you
Okay.
for doing this. This is pretty awesome. I am curious about the background of what's been discussed about the reason that we get to be together. What are I mean, you kind of gave some background information. But I'm curious, like from anyone's perspective, what you hope happens with this group. I think, obviously there's value um, and Black practitioners being able to know each other, to network, and presumably those networking opportunities can lead to partnerships, hiring, et cetera. But I also wonder about opportunities to advocate together and other things and synergies that can come about. So I'm curious if you all have talked about that, and what you all hope happens from this.
So, great question. To start, just some background on how this group came to be. And in my experience, since I've been attending MAP conferences, there has always been, following these conferences, an influx of attention around staying in connection, right? It's not a surprise that if you do go to a MAP conference, it's increased over the years. But it's quite obvious the number of people that look like us that attend those conferences. And there is usually a desire following those conferences to keep in communication. And that tends to happen. And it can only happen as long as that line of communication remains sustainable. And I've participated in several groups personally, and I know others have participated in groups where there's a small group and they stay in communication, and that can go on. But the challenge has always been, how do we create a group that is sustainable, long-standing, and can keep that momentum going, right? So that's how we got to this body, is working with MAP and trying to identify how can we do that. Do we create an entity? Do we create an LLC or a nonprofit, or what does that look like? And we've discussed all of those. And what was identified was this was the most sustainable way to create this body, align it with an existing organization. And then it aligns us to receive funding for, funding and support for activities or events or things that we want to do. So the outcome of this, one, I think, is to maintain in communication. Like you said, share resources, pool knowledge, but ultimately create that consistent line of communication between all of us, so that we can continue to do the work that we do.
Then I add something to that in terms of what Donovan spoke on, because there's a few of us on this call, and I want to commend efforts of Shari and Adrian that they actually, notice a need for Black professionals connecting with, and they actually talked to Andrea over 10 years ago. And so when I came to Detroit, I worked in other areas where the Black planners were more organized. And I see Antoine Bryan on this call. When we were in New York City at a planning conference, it was this group that was called Black Space. And so Black Space, they were organized and they did the unconference. And so we started having these conversations about how do we connect all these Black professionals. And especially when I came to Detroit, I started noticing that it's a lot of Black professionals that work for different departments and different agencies. But are they connected, and how? And it's a lot of power in bringing people and connecting them together, especially having control over what happens to Black spaces, because a lot of people, they saw Detroit as like this vacant land where they don't understand the groundwork of what's actually being done. And so part of the things where I wanted to talk about is terms of how do we have all these Black planners in place, but when I go to Atlanta, they have Black planning firms that's been doing business for 45 years. And so that's something that was that was noticed to me, where I said, we have all these Black professionals. How can we capitalize on the planning profession better, but also make better working conditions for Black planners? Because one of the things that I noticed, you have a lot of younger planners that's coming up behind me that they don't necessarily know all the profession, or if I come out of grad school, or like, do I understand what happens at APA or Michigan Association of Planning? Like, I was lucky to connect with forward-thinking planners like Antoine Bryant, because we were part of planning in the Black community division at the national chapter. So I started seeing this large synergy in Detroit, and I thought, yeah, it's a good idea for us to like have social events, network, but it's an opportunity for us to advocate for Black planners in these professionals in these spaces to actually have to control the narrative in our community, but actually have people that look like us and build a pipeline. So it's not only that we're benefiting as planners working in the public sector, but also we're starting companies in the private sector and getting work with these people that look like us, that's working in cities such as Antoine Bryant, who works for the city of Detroit planning department. But if they RFP a project in a Black city, it should be a Black planning firm getting that work. So that's that was big for us organizing, where this is just like incubator space. That's how I look at it.
Thank you, Trey. So hope that I see your heart, Kim. So thank you. All right, Lataro. I hope I'm saying that right.
Oh my goodness, you saying it like so perfectly. I wonder if we met before. Like, seriously. I'm like, do we know me? Like, goodness gracious. Hi everybody, I'm Lataro Trailer. First of all, just thank you all for creating this space, and to Trey or Jonathan for inviting me. And to answer the question that was just asked, I personally, so my background, I'm not a planner. My background is in downtown development. So yes, that's what I wanted to say earlier. I'm from Grand Rapids. I actually worked for DGRI and the DDA there. I did my externship in the city attorney's office there. So I'm very familiar. I actually have a digital space. It's a Facebook group, but the language you got to use today is a digital space of Black stuff in Grand Rapids, and it has over 4,000 members. And I actually went to Facebook headquarters to talk about the group too. So my point of bringing that up is, if y'all want to promote or connect or just align and partner with the group or whatever, let me know. I would love to do that, or sponsor whatever y'all got going on. Second thing is, who are y'all? Y'all mentioned GR Noir and the African American Museum, History Museum over there. Are y'all already working with somebody over there?
So these are just ideas right now. We haven't put anything down concretely. But I mean,
okay, let me connect you.
Yeah, please. I'm all ears.
Let me connect you to specifically Mark Washington. He's the city manager. He's a brother. He's Black. And Jordan Eatman is a VP of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. He's Black. He's an Alpha. I think Mark Washington might be an Alpha too. But there are two people off top that I can connect y'all to at least kind of map out a framework of excursions or get some sponsorship or whatever. And then too, sorry if I'm wordy, y'all. It's A, because I'm an attorney, totally B, because I'm passionate about this. But my point in answering the question, sorry, tangent, is I'm not a planner, but working in this space. And when I worked there, we used to go to these IDA conferences all around, like all over, International Downtown Association. And I don't think I ever saw one Black planner. I don't think I ever met one Black planner until I moved here to Detroit. I live in Detroit now. And I really wish Black people will make such good planners, because it's a cross section of a bunch of different things. So you ain't really got to specialize and pare down on one thing. It's very important history as far as how communities are made and formed. And then like funding sources, tax dollars, just public dollars. city commission means. Like, it just really bring it all together, and it will make us, so to my point and to the point of the question I was asked, it will make us such better advocates for our built spaces, but for our lives though too. You know, I think if we really understood how cities and communities were planned, we will have a different relationship with ourselves just as Black people, just to see how we've been just kind of moved along and, you know, things like that. So anyways, that's me on my soapbox. But let me see. Okay, I made a list of stuff too. Oh yeah, so yep, I would definitely love to help with the conference. Get y'all connected with people over there. I love that y'all have metrics as far as, you know, how you want to be impactful. I see these planners with their metrics and stuff. And then my last question is funding sources. Are y'all funded solely by MAP as a parent organization?
As of now, the primary source of our funding is through MAP, yes.
Okay, all right. What is the relationship? Is there like are you like allotted a certain amount, or do you kind of like expense it out, or how does that go?
So we put a budget together, or so the list of activities, we get those activities to MAP, and then they start to work out space, you know, for whatever expenses we may need within the budget. And Shari may be able to speak to that process a little better than I can. But that's the typical process. We come up with our annual list of activities, and then we get that to MAP, and then they see where they can support that in the budget.
Okay. And my only reason in bringing that up is because it's a lot of diversity dollars out here. And I think, you know, with regard to funding, a lot of these organizations are getting funding based off them either having a group like MBPP or just even membership in general, period. And so, you know, I would just urge you all to maybe explore what their diversity, you know, situation is or whatever. So yeah, that's all. Just me just starting stuff, as the people say.
Can I jump in and say, one, I love that. And thank you for coming in and starting stuff, because I think to your point, Donovan, you are spot on with the way that process will work, but there might be opportunity for us to make that point around like additional fundraising opportunities and efforts that might need to be made to support our work going forward as well. So thank you, Latara.
Thank you, Latara.
No problem. Thank you. Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate your passion and energy, and I'm glad you're here. And I thank Trey for inviting you.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, Mr. Walker, how you doing? I see your hand, and then we'll go to Ms. Bailey.
Yeah, and definitely, please call me Dave. I appreciate what you guys are doing. I really appreciate it. A quick question for you. How do you see this in the future? Not now, not in the first year or 2 years, connecting with the national planning in the Black community, and what type of impact or connection do you see happening over time, if any?
Yeah, I see us in the future having a very strong connection to the national planning in the Black community. And that is one of the reasons that encouraged us to align with MAP. Is because MAP is, you know, aligned with the national, so we have to align with MAP to also align with the national. And the challenge is that we don't have the population within that space to really have the kind of leverage and influence and representation that you would want at the national level. So to answer your question more directly, over the long term, I would love to see the population that we have in the MAP, this network, match the population of the national network. So I think right now we have, you know, 45 or so members that registered. You know, I would like to also see those same 45 at the national level, so that when we do international spaces, we have the representation, you know, as Detroit, you know, I'll just say the largest African-American city in the country. I won't say I don't understand, but I think we should have the greatest representation of that body at the national level. And the fact that we don't is one of the reasons why we're starting to gather and organize today. Okay. All right. Naomi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. How you doing?
Okay, hi. Hello, my name is Naomi. So a few questions. Can you kind of explain what the student liaison, like, kind of what the expectations of that chair is? And also to Justin, can you kind of touch on what the commitment is for the MAPS conference committee?
Okay. So I'll start off with the liaisons, and Adrian, if you wanted to jump in, you can. So the student liaison would first their leadership role, so they start to kind of gain that leadership perspective and being involved in MAP, and what that entails. But also you get to that person provides a student perspective into the activities that we're doing, the socials that we do, some of the programming and education activities we do, because we have almost 3 spaces of people within this space. So you have your students, you have your most recently graduated, emerging professionals, and then you have your what I'll just say more seasoned professionals, those that have been working in the field for a lot longer, right? So by creating those 2 liaison positions, it allows, those perspectives to be included in the decision making and in activities that may not be considered from those that are just more seasoned and focused on the actual,
Yeah.
career paths, heavy career paths, versus students that may want to see, for example, an activity at the conference that is more directly related to planning in Black communities for newly emerging and graduated individuals, right? Versus the same activity from a more seasoned planner perspective may look and sound different. So it's one getting input. Go ahead.
No, Donovan, I was just going to add, and you were touching on it, that those 2 liaison positions could work heavily with the Education and Programming Committee, so we can make sure that we are offering something for, as Donovan said, a person who's at every different level and phase of their professional planning journey, right? So me, as being someone who's been in the field for a little bit, my perspective is a little different from yours. And so we need that student and emerging planning professional to have a heavy presence on this committee so we can develop educational programming activities for everybody at the different stages of their career.
Okay. Well, I'll just say this right now. I can be your student liaison. Like, I'm got that seasoning. My question for that though is, okay, so I see that there are a lot of students here on the call that are from University of Michigan, myself included. Have you guys ever reached out to the undergrads that are currently at Michigan State and the grad students that are at Wayne State? I know as this profession, like even my undergrad was in landscape architecture, it's a very small profession. So it's even smaller with the African Americans that are in that profession. And sometimes they feel not seen or unheard because they don't have people that look like them. So have you guys tried to reach out to those schools? If not, like, I can get on it right now.
Shari, let's talk about Wayne State. No, we have some proud Wayne State alum in the house.
Okay, Shari,
right.
I know Shari.
Right. And so no, Wayne State is definitely part of our reach out in all the universities that have urban planning programs. Shari, did you want to talk about Wayne State?
Well, I don't know how much I really want to say. Naomi, I think to your point, we had our first wave. I think if I'm understanding your question, the amount of outreach that we did, I think has a lot of opportunity for improvement. I think that we can definitely beef up our outreach approach for sure, going into future communications. We do have these schools on our radar and definitely intend to reach out to them and make some more intentional connections. I don't know if I have much else to say about Wayne State at this particular moment, though, Adrian.
I
I'm a
I think
proud
to that,
MUP alum, and shout out to Dr. Kami Potakuchi
yeah,
of Wayne
Yes,
State
yes.
University. She is my superhero. So that's all I'm
Mhm.
gonna say.
I think
Okay.
also you have to be very delicate about the line of communication that we as Black students are trying to facilitate to administration at
Hmm.
certain schools, because yeah, so some professors feel like it would not be appropriate if they were to just streamline communication about opportunities specifically to Black students. So to answer your question, Naomi, a lot of us have been kind of spreading the word through word of mouth.
Yeah.
Um, we do have a phenomenal woman on staff, Miss Yvonne Maxwell, who at
Hmm.
Wayne State always is plugged in and will share certain, opportunities with us. But I think we had a conversation with Andrea not too long ago about what that looks like, and we trying to, move away from just streamlining communication specifically to one demographic. But you might be able to help us, with that and what that may look like short term and
Okay.
long term as the student
Yeah.
liaison.
Can
Yeah.
I
We
add
can. Mhm.
also? Oh, go ahead, Naomi. I don't want to cut you off.
Oh no, I was gonna say that's something that I could like we could definitely work on, because I think like it to what was being said, to we have to kind of grow, and I think it starts with connecting with students, because once they start early and then they come to these meetings and then they go to the events, and they're learning what they're learning in school, but then they also have a fresh perspective of people who look like them and people who are possibly doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
It'll I think it could be very a really great opportunity for them. So this is something that I'm excited to to do.
Agreed. I
Thanks.
just I just want to echo, like, I think that is a critical population. And two things I wanted to say, I put in the chat. I think when we send out our communications after this meeting, it'll be good for us to include maybe a few talking points for you all to help us spread the word, because this group, this body right here, those of you that registered, are like critical to helping this group grow and bringing those folks into this into.
Yeah. Okay.
I would
Thank
also
you. And I
add,
think my other question was touching a little bit on what comes with, like, what all entails with the committee, the 2024 conference committee.
yeah. I'll start to, I guess, the overall committee structure, and then Justin, if you want to go into, you can as well as Marja. Um, these will be virtual committees. So whoever the chair is would designate, when is the best time for that group to meet, periodically, whether that's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever that cadence is. Um, and, you work through whatever necessary action steps or items kind of need to get done to ensure that whatever that committee is responsible for can actually be completed. So if that's organizing the session, you come up with the title, the description, how you're going to deliver the presentation, whether that's a PowerPoint or all vocal, who's going to lead it, who's going to host it, and then making sure all that gets coordinated and submitted into MAP in time to be included onto the schedule. And then all that has to be kind of communicated back to the leadership body. And then, the leadership body works with MAP to kind of make sure those things are solidified and locked in stone.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, there's not too much to add to that. I appreciate you sharing everything, but you asked Naomi what the time commitment would look like for that
Yeah.
role. I think we're looking for something a little bit long term right now. Um,
Hmm.
and especially with the national conference coming up in the next couple of years, I think we really want to solidify a strong presence now. so we can kind of build those behaviors as we get closer and closer to the national conference.
Conference.
Yeah, definitely.
The national conference for 2025.
2025, 2026?
2026, that'll be in Detroit.
Yes, it will be.
The fun one.
Yeah.
Okay. I will get back to you on that, but I definitely want to throw my hat in for the student liaison.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
you.
All right, Ken, I saw your hand go up.
I put it down for a reason.
I know, I saw you. I'm just happy to see you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys for actually having this meeting. Like Trey said earlier, I want to say thank you to everybody that put it together. Especially after the last conference, we did sit afterwards and ask each other, how can we stay in contact and what do we need to do to keep this moving forward? So I definitely want to say thank you. My name is Ken. I'm the hazard mitigation coordinator for the city of Lansing. I am a planner by trade. I have moved over to the emergency management section of things now. One of the main things I try to do, especially being involved with MAP still, is trying to learn how to intersect like emergency management policies into planning policies as well. One of the things that we fight with is a lot of gray areas when we're trying to bring or instill policy, whether it's into jurisdictions or asking people to look at something a certain way. And in emergency management, we use a lot of policies or new templates that if you fill it out, it's going to tell you what you need to do. So if something goes against or adversely affects, whether it's a community or something like that, we see it right there on paper. So Andrea keeps me very involved with MAP. I am on the social equity committee with MAP. So, you know, I am heavily involved and I'm glad to stay involved. Naomi was asking about involvement or talking to students. I graduated from Michigan State Urban Regional Planning Program, and we have a student organization up there. And I've been working with some of my old practicum professors to actually try to get it back started up. And one of the things that I discussed is some of the things that we talk about here. And actually, I have a current practicum professor and a retired practicum professor who actually supports our cause. So I definitely would like to connect you when you're ready to somebody to try to get this stuff rolling with some of the students that they have there. Because I think one of the things they're missing is encouragement from other students as well. Other students that look like them, other students that can promote like them. So I definitely would like to extend my hand out there to try to connect you with some people up here at Michigan State.
Okay. Awesome. We appreciate that. We'll follow up on how to make that connection and the best way to go about it. And I do want to acknowledge Dominique. Thank you for throwing your hat in for the emerging planner liaison. Much appreciated. I think that fills all we have one more vacant vice chair seat. And then we have just the open social and event chair seat that's available. I think that's where we are. Yep. Social event committee chair is open and vice chair is open. So
I would like to submit my name for the social and events chair.
Thank you, Lataro. And okay.
Did y'all announce all of the roles that was open, what they had to do? Did y'all say vice chair? Because I heard people asking about it, but I don't think I heard the description for vice chair yet.
Yeah, I can give you a description. If the chair disappears, you become chair.
Right.
But then it's also assisting the board with communications and coordination.
And I know you didn't ask me, but it's a really good credential, a leadership credential. So I would encourage anybody who is serious about their career and their professional, if they're going to stay in this, to go and get that vice president credential.
Yeah. Is that a hand, Can?
Yeah, yeah, I'm just make sure we connected, I'm in the capital, so whatever y'all need, we could just, it's always connected. We everywhere. Now we in Detroit, we in Lansing, at least two
Yeah,
places. So,
my
and
guy.
in Ann Arbor, we got Michigan people. I mean, sorry, but we got Michigan people.
All right,
Go
so
green, go green.
Go white.
Oh, blue.
All right, so we have a full body. We have a full board, and we have a full cast of committees and chairs. So that's awesome. Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
Wait, before we do this, Ms. Brown, I got one question. Would I be able to do this and serve on another committee? I just need to know if that's going to interfere with anything else.
She is not listening.
She not?
No, she's in another room. She just started the meeting for us.
Oh.
But I don't imagine that being a problem, though.
Yeah, Shari is on the board too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool then. Just making sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of people on different committees.
Bet.
Okay. I see you, Chris. What's going on?
What's up, y'all? Sorry if I got background noise. I'm not sure I had the capacity to lead anything. I don't want to take on too much responsibility, but I am very interested in our education committee. I'm happy to lend a hand in that realm. I think that we have a big job to do to build, Black planners from the young age up, especially like introduce this to, our community. So happy to help out there.
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll take that note and link you with Adrian. All right. Well, that covers everything we wanted to accomplish this evening. We were going to run till 7, but it's Wednesday, so I'm going to try to get everybody out of here if we can. So with that, again, I thank everybody for coming out. I'm excited because I see all my favorite people in one place. What's going on, Roland? So again, I'm just really excited and grateful and thankful that everyone was able to participate. But keep an eye out on your emails. We'll be sending out follow-up communication sometime this week or early next week. And we'll start to meet again. We'll start to pull our subcommittees. And then I believe the next closest time we can get together will be the planners meetup. I believe that's in April, like the first 2 weeks of April. So I'll make sure we get that invitation out to everybody. And again, thank you. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Thanks, everyone. Great to meet you all.
Thank you.
Thanks,
everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, y'all did a great job, man. I appreciate this.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. But don't nominate me like that no more, sorry.
I didn't know.
Still leaned into it first, like
you literally raised your hand.
I was trying to get y'all attention again.
Oh, that's what that was.
And then Donovan said, "Is that a hand?" It is a hand.
It was a hand.
Have a good one. See y'all.
All right, see you.
Bye.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm gonna turn it off. I'll send the information out for like a follow-up for us, maybe Friday. I'll send a poll out.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. See you, buddy.
All right, everybody.